what made you decide to go back to stand-up? Because I know you started doing that when you were really young. What made you go back to it now?
Well, I've been doing this web television show for the last 4 years, and it's been going really well. And I have all sorts of people who have, basically I've millions of people around the world who watch the show at tomgreen.com. And, people call into the show on Skype video. I've literally have, like I said, people all over the world watching, and it occurred to me that it might be a fun way to take the show to them is through doing stand-up. It's something I've always wanted to do, I've always meant to do, to really develop that craft, and I loved doing it when I was younger, missed doing it, and, I have an opportunity now to be able to go around and tour doing this, so I just decided to kind of bite the bullet and really roll up my sleeves and really put together a show, and it's something I'm taking really seriously. And in the last year, I've gone all around the world, and I've been all over Australia. I did all of the U.S., every city in the U.S. Done most of Canada now, except for the East Coast. I've got to hit the East Coast, and then so it's been fun. It's funny. Like I'll be doing my show, and I'll recognize people in the audience that I've never met in person before, but that have called me for years on Skype on my website. And it's a hilarious sort of thing that happens because I sort of see someone, I go, wait, I know that guy. Oh, I know that person from Skype video. They called me when I was interviewing Val Kilmer a year ago, and we had a conversation. It was pretty. I think it's pretty indicative of how connected we all are, in the world now with the internet. When I can go to Australia and to cities I've never been to in my entire life and meet, hundreds of people after the show who I know.
Yeah, and you filmed one of the shows in Australia, right?
Yeah, I've been filming actually all of the shows in the last 6 months. We filmed my show in Sydney, was the first one we did multi-camera, and then shortly after that I started touring with a camera person, sort of video producer from tomgreen.com, a guy who works for my website, and we shoot all the shows multi-camera. We're putting together a tour documentary film about the tour this year, and we'll be shooting everything in Halifax and all across Nova Scotia. People come out to the show, they'll be in the movie.
That's not the Prankstar movie, is it? Or was that something else?
Prankstar's a movie.
Okay.
That it's kind of still sort of in production. It's essentially almost finished, but it's a different movie, and this is more of a documentary about my stand-up comedy, and we're going to be releasing filming and shooting and releasing a comedy special this year, and putting that out with all this footage of me traveling around the world, and also one complete, really well documented set of mine from a theater somewhere. So
nice. I hope we get to see Prankstar soon, because I was a big fan of your earlier film work, especially Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Like Freddy Got Fingered has essentially taken off and become this real hit movie in the last couple of years. Obviously it was something that was, met with some resistance by the critics and stuff when it came out. But in the last 5 years or so, it's really turned into this real cult movie. And all over the world, people are yelling out, from the audience, scenes from the movie, and it's become this really fun thing for me. So, yeah, it's exciting. I loved making that movie. I directed that movie, and I'm actually hoping to shoot another movie this year that I'm going to write and direct, and it's going to be a crazy one, too, like Freddy Got Fingered, for sure.
We are coming up on the 10th anniversary of Freddy Got Fingered, and there was talk of a director's cut. Is that still in the works, or?
It's something that I'd like to do someday. It's not actually in the works as of yet, but it's definitely something that I'd like to do someday for sure. I think I'm going to put my attention into actually just making a new movie this year.
Okay.
And just doing something. I actually have a couple of ideas. I might make 2 movies this year that are going to be kind of going back to a little bit more of the crazier stuff that I used to do on the street. So I want to take a feature film and do something out on the streets and do some pranks and stuff like that again. So I've always wanted to do a feature film of live action comedy, and I've never really had the opportunity to do it, but now I'm going to do it.
When you look back on some of that stuff you did on the street, like what you did to your parents' car, which is legendary, the soccer hooligans was one of my favorite things on the old Tom Green show. Do you ever look back on some of that stuff and go, man, what was I thinking? Or do you think, wow, I could have went further?
I never really think I could have gone further, because I don't really think I could have gone much further than some of the stuff I did. I mean, I definitely, but I also know what I was thinking too. So it's sort of this thing where I just look back at it with a lot of fond memories and happy memories, and I really, I'm proud of a lot of that stuff. We pushed the envelope as far as we could do it. We really made a real point to sit around and come up with real creative, ridiculous things we could do with the video camera. And we were always trying to think of things that we'd never seen on TV before, and really try to change the whole, method of shooting and all this stuff. I was a broadcasting student, so I was really kind of into the whole technical aspects of things as well. And so, I'm really, I'm really, I love all the old stuff. And it's kind of, after I've taken a few years off of going out and doing some of that sort of more outrageous stuff out in the streets, I'm starting to kind of pine to get out and do it again. So that's why I'm going to do this movie this year.